Right, so it's the 4th of April 2025, and for the last 4 days I've been getting this burning problem, but not only is it affecting my breathing and burning, and when you're breathing the air, the actual air itself feels like it's burning in your chest. Shit, I sneezed at. That's a bike, Christ. Yes, get a fucking say that is, you crap bastard. That's the problem. The government need to do this. Right, so I can get with the burning problem. Hang on a second, I've got to stop the fucking recording. Right, so yeah, so the burning problem, if I can get a say on that before I sneezed over and loud bikes to Erections and all the fucking heavy traffic of about 400 cars slammed at me in the last couple of minutes. Right, so the burning problem has been causing numbness, has been causing me to get the runs. When you're breathing the actual air, it's feeling like the air itself is burning the inside of your lungs, as well as the cat claw scratch mark burns right across your body. Fuck's sake, I've been really, really ill, and it's persistent. But what I will say is, I've been accusing a specific neighbour of causing burning problems. Well, this neighbour was out when it was happening, and it happened at the time he was out, and it stopped at the time he was out, and it reoccurred when he was out. So that's interesting. And I had a go at him, and he's innocent, so I'm gonna have to try and find a way for forgiveness here, because I have really for a long time been accusing, but that burning at the moment is making me very, very bloody ill. So I've had to get up early. It's Friday today. It started at 10:45 a.m. ish, or something like that, and right across the fronts of your arms, your chest. I've noticed when I turn the dongle box on that there's a slight increase in the burning, but whether it's caused by that I do not know, because it's most of the times it occurs is when it's off, but it seems to be escalating when that's on. So it could be something on the same frequency, same level, except a lot more amplified. I do not know. But what I have also noticed is the burning that's been occurring lately is not showing up on the EMF meter, nor on the radiation detectors, so that's very unusual. But it does still show up sometimes when this sort of symptoms occur, but it's more when the cat claw scratch marks are intense that it shows up. However, it hasn't been that great this morning. So we've got a new neighbour that's moved in. Now, I'm not sure what days he's in or whatever, but he has the name of Alan. I'm not going to go in much detail because I don't know him, I don't want to accuse him or whatever, but at times I've been suspecting that he's been there. That burning's been increasing big time, so I'm very annoyed by that, because obviously it's making me fucking ill, really ill. I was very annoyed last night, so I was trying to meet up with Peter went out, you see, and that's when all the burning started. So but it didn't start until 20 minutes after he went out, and then also Peter was still out at the time that it reoccurred after there was a 10-minute break or so before it restarted again. So you had that, and also every time this is occurring it's causing me to get the runs, and I'm not too happy about that. So something is affecting your bowels. It's also causing numbness to the skin, which is rare that occurs, but it's like numb parts, itchy feet. You feel like you can't stand up, you're falling over because you feel like jelly. It makes you feel sick. It crushes inside your head. Your head feels like it's being crushed in. Pressure, head pressure, and you also got like a feeling like a raw head, like you've grazed it, but the whole top of the head is raw, and it gives you sort of burny eyes. But yeah. Anyway, as far as setups go, there's a gush of sneeze slammed into my face, because obviously that's the way the Creator God needs to And now we've got a spike in my direction. Isn't it nice of you, Christ? A spiteful bastard. A spike, Christ. It's called a spike. It's called like a knife. It's to tell me that you need to put a knife in me, Christ. Very clever. And I think I mentioned the other setups, so I'll keep you up to date with the rest of the stuff that occurs today. Right, so I've been sneezed at. And then there's a black and blue car timed. Then there's a person pushing a buggy in his 20s, trying to sneeze a phlegm wet sneeze into my face, hard wet sneeze. Then there's another sneeze. Then I'm sneezed at twice again. After that, there's another person that sneezes from behind in my face, in my hair, sorry, so I have to wash it with a tissue and water. Then there's 4 cell calls at me. And then I'm sneezed at again, before sneezed at again. Then there's something odd that occurs. I've not seen this van before, but it says staff on it. So obviously you've got staff where I live because it's supported housing. And then they time a Jack Jones t-shirt, another Jack Jones t-shirt before, another sneeze in my face and a Jack Jones t-shirt. And now obviously I'm going to phone the staff out because I want to let them know what's gone on. The government want me off the bus. So there's 9 cell calls on the bus and the spit all flying everywhere. Quite boastful to these people. And also I can't guarantee the weather's going to hold out for the picture I want to take. Black and blue timed. That's timed. The creator God's just fucking evil. The fucking creator. Absolutely. Cunt's buckled, the cunt's twisted, the fucking cunt's hellbent. Or if it's not the creator God that's doing it, it's the government. Yeah, I can't see the weather, I can't look out the window to see what the weather's going to do before I get off the bus. I need to know what the weather's doing. I can't do that because I'm in a situation where I've been forced to face in a buckled angle. Also, they're causing a massive queue so that the bus doesn't go anywhere. That's what I mean. The creator's fucking buckled. The creator's fucking fallen. I tell you, God's fallen. As simple as that. This is every day. It's in occasionally. This is 365 days every day, all year round. That's been going on for years and years and years. The creator God has fucking fallen. It's like yesterday. I was. Basically a crow was telling me to fuck your something or rather, and as I was trying to write it down, someone was in my direction, so I let them pass and I stepped in dog shit. So that's the way God wants to work it. And that's fucking there, see, no profit. Just about to stop recording as well. It always happens and sneezes because the creator God is a warped, crooked, crippled-minded, fucking grauty cunt that causes this fucking. So at the moment, I'm just going to have to go with radiation and things like that, and that's one of the reasons that I left my place. Because, yeah, that's right, yeah. Right, yeah. See what I mean? The creator God's buckled. Eagle plant band, black and white. Right, so someone just said a fucking him, I'll bash his fucking head in, so obviously you've got to be prepared to cut that person's fucking throat and wrist. But anyway, black and blue timed, ups timed, eagle plant timed, black, white, sorry, white timed, black and blue timed, black timed, then blue timed, yellow and white timed before that. There's a lot of tough spitting. I just got nowhere. I've got to sit. There's nowhere you can go. Right, obviously, I had a look on the forecast to see what the weather is today. It's partly cloudy and sunny, but mostly cloudy. So for the morning and until about 2 PM in the afternoon, or whatever it was, and then obviously it becomes a bit more sunny. And then after that, it's blue skies and sunshine every day for the next 2 weeks. Right, Bash has heard. Right, Bash has heard and said everyone's saying he's funny, said He won't break his ribs, said. The sun represents the sexual nature of life, followed by Somerset Waste Partnership. Right, so we got a cough over 2 red cars. She has a dead paedophile. He is literally spits in my legs. It's been extremely busy flow of traffic today as well. Well, I've got to try and take the picture with blue skies and sunshine because the government approved the weather state in that buckled fucking handicap fucking weather pattern, or unless the creator God is turned. And in some ways you could say it's like a boring curse because perhaps we can see everyone around me, but within it like it's not just a couple of miles, about 20 miles in radius. Well, it looks like the creator God's fucking sick, isn't it? Fucking corrupt. The bastard made it blue skies and fucking sunshine after I come out and they forecast cloud for this part of the day. Grey cloud, by the way. After 2 o'clock or something like that is when it's supposed to be partly cloudy. This is blue skies and fucking sunshine. Right, getting a knife in him, said. Yeah, weirdo. By a teenager on the bus. Somerset Waste Partnership. Spit talk over me and in my face. Eagle plant timed. Just come to fucking pieces. T-shirt look-alike. Sicko, said. Sexual car. Smash in his brains in, said. Fucking shoot him, said. Grey timed. Lots of texts occur. MKM. Blowing. Someone blows on the bus. They got flu, so they need to blow out their mouth. Or because they're hot, maybe. But they definitely got flu. Cloud sweeper van. Sex for you. Bonus a motorbike. Black and blue tops on 2 bikes. Red. And then the phone, loads of phone calls reoccur and all that shit. Grab lorry and red. So a catalytic converter is very controlled price and then it backs up because it's a catalyst. Right, so I've taken the picture, but I don't know whether yes, it's catalytic control. You fucking screwed up bastard, you fucking hellbent cunt. But with blue skies and sunshine, it's making it very difficult. Right, so I started catalytic converters. It was a take-off of last time I was here waiting for the bus. And last time I came here it was sunny, after it was cloudy when they forecast cloud. They're doing exactly the same again. Here we are, starting catalyst at the bus stop. Because it smells of vinegar. It's supposed to suggest a granny Christ. Right, I've not been able to photograph the other picture either. The reflection of the sexual stupid weather down in the street. And rack! Grey white. Yeah, the bastard's going for gold. The government want this weather. The government don't want you taking pictures of anything. And while testing the camera out. They can't take pictures because it's a sexual day. Right, so the creator God is fucking buckled to fuck. Or if it's not the creator God, it's the government. So they put a gun looking vertical my way. And they're making it windy, but the problem is there is cloud about, that's the problem. They do it in that spiteful way where they're purposely controlling the weather around me for it to be sex. So let me just give you some idea of what has happened. I got on the bus, and sorry about the time or space where I haven't put the recordings have been left on record or whatever. I've been trying to do things, write things down, and the government or the creator God, one of the two, just can't help being a fucking coarse bastard. Right, so I just phoned up the staff at Supported Housing, and obviously I phoned them up earlier as well. It's just after I was moaning about the sneezing, and just after the staff van or something like that occurred this morning, which was coincidence. It's interesting that the Jack Jones came after, because Jack Jones is like a simple saying, oh, don't give a fuck. Well, actually, they obviously know, because obviously they were busy. That's right, fuck. That's right, the bin's there, so I've go inside and they got an overhanging fucking thing to rip my legs off from behind. Right, so I'm on a walk on a road now, so this road's going to take about an hour to get to where I want to go to. And the reason it's going to take that amount of time is because it's fucking soaking wet, hot and sunny, with blue skies and sexy weather, Christ. So, kill your fucking insects, no matter. You want to fucking burn me with energy weapons and fucking destroy me, you bastard. Try and hit me off so that you can sex suck the guts in and out of me as a child in my next life, and stop me getting sex like in this life. And then wait until I'm in my 50s when it's too late and I can't have sex, nailing me as a sick cunt if I don't fancy an old fogey or rough skin. You fucking hell-bent bastard, Christ. Just like in this life. And a clairvoyant told me in my last life I was a sexy little girl that was having the guts raped out of me, and then I was stopped from getting anyone murdered brutally so you could rip me to pieces in this life, you cold bastard, Christ. Right, so they want a time of snake suggestion and zigzag lorry, and now my willy's right up for about a M-bike. Yeah, Christ, you're fucking crooked, mate. You're just absolutely fucking satanic cunt. It's like the curse of yesterday, you cruelty cunt. You go into church, the bastard will rip you to fucking pieces. The cunt's fallen, alright? The creator God's fucking fallen. 100%. In the last 3 years, there's been over 400 times where they've lied on the weather forecast, claiming that there's going to be some form of cloud, and it turns out blue skies and sunshine. There's like a 20-mile opening of blue skies all around me, and it's being controlled. But if you go out that period, it's a 20-mile period that I'm stuck in, it's grey cloud. And although I can't get any response from the staff at supported housing, because since Clive left being a manager, you've been getting like remarks, sicko remarks in the office is all starting to escalate again. Or what appears to be that. I've lost what I was going to say because I'm being controlled by every fucking thing around me. Because the government need to make it busy, or the creator God needs to make it busy, because we need to stir shit down in the street. We need to fucking rip people to pieces, slice our wrists with the creator God, and tear the fuck out of people. Live up to your name just in fucking time, right? Do you understand? Live up to your name, we're ripping you to fucking pieces. Right, so we've got a black car and a white car and grey. Got to face this road. They're going to step the traffic up and they're going to collide vehicles because they want me smashed to pieces, because the government have got a problem with me taking pictures that are mystical or taken without the sunshine. The government are telling me that if you're not going to take pictures on a sunny day where it's sexual weather with children with no clothes on the beach, then we're going to rip you to fucking pieces and hit you off. Because the government want you taking pictures of children on the beach with no clothes on, hotel balconies with swimming pools, sports on blue sky sunny days, racing courses, water sports on blue sky sunny days in the middle of summer. If you don't take those types of pictures, you're in the fucking pistol smoke. It's as simple as that. The government don't like it. They don't like it with people that have more poorer life interests. It's got to be sexual. It's got to be good life. If you don't follow the instructions of what the government want, you're being ripped to fucking pieces, and you're being fucking hit off, and you're being fucking destroyed, and you're being fucking sexually raped and ripped to pieces in your next life and destroyed forever. That's the way the government work. They're just nasty, crippled bastards that are billionaires that love ripping people to pieces, like in the underground basements of 10 Downing Street, where they rape children and drink their blood in sacrifice fucking satanic rituals. And that explains why these setups are fucking menacing all the time. This has been going on since 1997, these setups, but it wasn't until 2003, when the music industry was being put against me, or just a bit before then, to try and knock me off. And then after that, in 2005, these setups were stepped up, and then it got nastier and nastier. What did surprise me is we came 1 year before the first lockdown, when the COVID outbreak occurred. They said you paid the price for all the crimes you've done. But the problem is they're accusing me of stuff like having sex with Sadie, Stephanie, and whatever else it was they were suggesting. Well, that's not true. They were making the suggestion, you paid the price for that. But also at the time, they made the suggestion, well, we fucked your life up because you're going to have to go with Gemma Ferguson, not realising that I can actually fancy Gemma Ferguson, or could at the time. But they didn't see that. They thought I'm a sick bastard and all the rest of it. And that's the way they wanted to work it. And then they're basically saying, well, you're not going to be able to get your guts or feelings out like being sexually abused as a child. We've had to fuck that up for you because of allegations of sexual crimes that I've never committed. The other thing that they made the suggestion of, which is true, but I haven't done it since I got in trouble with the police because the police warned me that they don't want to see me dead. And that's writing Bomb Hinkley Point Power Station graffiti after something very serious happened to me. So it's like in Christmas paint or whatever, going back 2006. And after I had a burglary, and at the same time all the threats were starting to get nastier and nastier. In the same time period as all this fucking shit was going on. But obviously I got in trouble, you know, and it hasn't been written since. But these setups made the suggestion that I paid the price for that as well. And then the last 8 months before we went into the lockdown, we had hardly any setups at all, just loud bites to erections. The setups died out completely. I was even walking into women in their early 20s in relationships with people in their 40s or 50s. I was even having women smile at me who were only in their 20s, if not younger than that. And that's just before I hit 40. So if that was happening back then, how come you're known as a sick bastard if you don't go with someone that's fucking 40 up today? What's changed in the last few years to cause that? Or is it the way they're mapping out everyone's movement around me? During the lockdown, I was walking into this Gemma. But unfortunately, this Gemma doesn't like me, because I've mentioned it many times before. She's 10 years younger than me. So she's about the same age gap as my original parents when they were together. However, if we go back about 10 years ago, also, 2 enemies, one a bit older than me and one a bit younger, both walking together, was said, I'm fucking shocked he can fancy that Gemma, since he's a sicko. And 10 years later, Gemma phoned me up to say, you're a sick bastard, who the fuck do you think you are, phoning up me to see if I'm fucking single or want to go for a drink. You sad bastard, you're preying on a 30-year-old woman, you sick cunt. And she's like, you lost your life, you fucking put, you know, she started all that on the phone. And that's to when she's 10 years older. You know, just under 10 years older to when those 2 chaps said what I told you. That's how much people have changed. But since the lockdown, or since we went into the second lockdown, all this criminal force against me got nastier, 4 times more malicious, out more aggressive, and they've been trying to knock me off and making the suggestions you're being ripped to fucking pieces, hit off, destroyed, having your fucking wrist sliced with God, being fucking destroyed, being sexually crucified, and being raped as a child in your next life and being brutally fucking murdered in your next life, or attacked by a deadly insect, or snake, or crocodile, or something like that, to say that you're being ripped to pieces and you're never living your life again. That's how fucking nasty they're getting now. Much more nasty than the previous setups. And you have really nasty setups. Your heavy day of setups going back before 2019, it's like it every day. There's at least heavy setups every day before that time, since that time. This organised force is much more constructed, much more timed on the nail, and much more malicious than it's ever been before. All the nastiest setups in my whole life are in the last 4 years since the lockdown. It's got a lot nastier, a lot more malicious, and the types of suggestions are less, how do I put it, more like it's set up by more thug-like types of people in the elite. There we are, on that corner, overhanging trailers to rip my fucking legs off again. That's because of you little bastards down the street. That's because they want me fucking dead, they want me murdered, they don't want me walking, they don't want you taking pictures of things that look old or mystical. There's got to be sex, okay? The government are making it clear. You're taking sex with saying you're having taking pictures of of naked children on the beach. The government are making it clear, if you don't take pictures of naked children, you're being ripped to fucking pieces. But the problem is, I'm not into taking pictures of sex or naked children. But you can't tell the government that. They're fucking stupid. They're fucking corrupt. They just don't like it if you try and take pictures in overcast weather. They've got a problem with it. You've got to be ripped off, ripped to pieces, or smashed up, or fucking destroyed. It's got to be pictures of what they want you to take a picture of. It's got to look futuristic, it's got to look modern, it's got to look like a good life type of scenery. Yeah, so they're making the suggestion on sexuality lately that because you won't accept being sexually abused as a child and want sex, and making the suggestion because you're old you've got to have your legs ripped off, you've got to be fucking hit off, and making the suggestion you're too old to have sex with a sexual person, you've got to go, you've got to be hit off, you've got to be knocked off, we've got to rape you as a child in your next life and play about with you in a fireplace with poker sticks and going to rip you to fucking pieces. Right, as far as this road goes, by the way, it's when it comes to how busy it is, if I can get a fucking say, that is probably your average amount when it's very busy, because this road is usually pretty quiet. But obviously they need to step up the action, they need to increase the flow, and that cloud that was over there earlier is evaporating, but there is a lot more cloud. There's circling me. So you've got about 20 miles of open blue skies, where it's, in a way, where it's controlled around me. There's one direction that looks like it's opening all over there, so it could be like 30 miles, I don't know. But yeah, they're getting nasty about it. The reason I'm actually down here is because I had to rearrange my plans, quite simply because the sun has fucked up my day. They're controlling the weather, you see. Or if it's not the government, then we've got a really crest bastard called Jehovah God, Yahweh or Allah, that's just a malicious piece of shit that rips people to fucking pieces then. Right, so we've had a couple of more vehicles. They want to dig again with this Sadie business. And they're trying to go back with all the setups that died out in 2007 with this Wayne business as well. When it comes to Wayne, there's a documentary, so they're trying to sort of make the suggestion that the sex you had in your life is good enough. When it comes to Sadie Dando, I haven't had sex with Sadie Dando. But, so you can't tell the government that, or the creator God, because they're just buckling these forces against me, and corrupt force. And it appears to me, with the suggestions that are occurring, that there's a possibility it could be set up in America and being controlled over it. Because sometimes, the thing is, in the past, if it was set up in the UK, they wouldn't try hitting off their own politicians while trying to smash me to pieces. So when they put overhanging trailers in my direction, and when I was on holiday in 2015 going to London, when my mum went for a conference, they tried knocking off a politician on the street in London, like trying to smash into pieces with vehicle control. At the time period I was in London where they were trying to get every car to smash into everybody because they were trying to hit me off. So they don't care about politicians in 10 Downing Street. So I don't know what's going on. And also, the same year I think it was, they tried smashing a police car to pieces with a police officer that I knew inside the police car. And also on another occasion, which was just a week later, if that, 2 weeks, maximum 2 weeks, they tried smashing another police car up with a police officer in that car on another occasion out of 2 roads, straight one after the other. At the same time, they were trying to smash me to pieces with the control setups. Now this is setups before the lockdown, so whether it's caused by the same organisation or force, I don't know, but that's what was happening back at that time. So that's right, a black sexual car and my way to attempt to smash me to pieces. They're not going to stop it. They want me destroyed, they want me ripped to pieces, and they want to take the piss out of me being sexually abused as a child. This time last year, shall I tell you what the setups were? This time last year, when I was walking about, you had a lookalike to someone who sexually abused me as a child as my willy pops up, and then they were timing a t-shirt, make love, not war, followed by age is just a number, it's love that counts, and they were also timing the t-shirt, over 50 is too old, under 50 is fine. So they were timing that after they were timing lookalikes to people who sexually abused me as a child, but regardless of all that, they were timing a loud bike regardless. Sometimes a three-wheel bike, and sometimes a bike with a wanking mechanism suggestion, because they want to absolutely take the piss out of me. Another thing I noticed is, this April time was just a few months before the Labour Party got into power, after Conservatives got kicked out. They were also timing this time last year, right up until June or whatever the month was, they were timing, every time you pass a vote Liberal Democrats winning here, there was quite a few days in a week, and it's happening on a regular basis, not once or twice, they were timing the ripping you to pieces paper shredder van. Now obviously when I timed that initially, I was getting shouted at with threats and being mistaken as civilian by the people that are driving in that van, and they were getting quite nasty with me, quite aggressive. So then but it always happened when they were passing the Liberal Democrat sign. After a few more times as it occurred, they started to realise that it was being timed as I was passing the Liberal Democrat sign, and their sinister behaviour turned into laughter. So they started laughing at me as they passed me, and sometimes beeped and pointed to the vote Liberal Democrat sign. Then they saw me on a frequent basis. It must have been about 30 plus, 40 plus times, I don't know, I've forgotten how many times it is, that I saw them before the election took place. It's probably more than 40 actually, come to think of it. That's right, try and fucking not... Right, so the government try and knock me off, you see. This is the problem. Anyway, the Liberal Democrats, it turned out true, they did get in power for the local election in Yeovil, but for the main party, it's Labour that got in power. And last time Labour were in power, he was saying, being part of the Labour Party, what we must do is we must destroy it. Quite simply, the king is dead. And what other thing did they say? I haven't seen days like this since Margaret Thatcher was in power, but they were making the suggestion of someone raping me as a child and cheering about it in the time period of set-ups going back at a specific time when they suggested that when Labour were last in power. We got a tool bank van. Out of most of the negative wording on vehicles, like ripping you to pieces paper shredder van and a couple of others, let's put it this way, you didn't have the knife down jumper, you didn't have the manslaughter jumper, you didn't have the smash you to pieces rubble flatbed lorry, you didn't have the sick cunt or destroy that dude or do or something. I can't remember what the t-shirt said, but that sick cunt dude or do, rip his life to fucking pieces and kill him. I can't remember the exact wording. You didn't have that at my old place. You had some nasty vehicle wording on, wording on sides of vehicles, but you didn't have this. And you had occasionally you had the Street Fighter Turbo, the Street Fighter, obviously making a suggestion of my ex-mugger, Dan, actually, to be fair, when they were doing it. Dan Morgan, he doesn't give me much trouble today. There was a bit of an incident going back when I last went to Gove-Rnment for that camping trip in the heatwave of 2023 in September, when it's 30 odd degrees outside. But take that away, there hasn't been any problems from that person for quite a few years. So going back to these setups, a lot of this, you've got the knife down top as well. That didn't occur. Like a gothic top with red writing saying knife down and grey, possibly grey. You didn't have that. None of these nasty, really malicious worded t-shirts or van names or whatever never existed. I think you had the tables have turned, I'm not sure. Smash you up, I'm not sure about that one. You had the you've got to be hit off. I think I'm not sure about that one. You had the rent-a-kill, obviously, and you had the roadkill. Just come to fucking pieces. You didn't have that t-shirt, that never existed when I was living at my old place. So that's what it says, just come to fucking pieces. destroyed a sad cunt. You didn't have that t-shirt at my old place, jumper or whatever it was. That's new as well. That's what I mean. You've got loads of different wording like this, all malicious, all nasty. It's all being rigged up, you know, in this pattern. They're getting nastier and nastier. These people that are setting this up are getting nastier and nastier. But then again, the threats increased. Straight after the lockdown, even before we came fully out of the lockdown, all these threats were on the increase, and me being mistaken as Sven, that was off the scale. So it all changed, you know. There's a lot of trouble that they've been causing, the government or the Creator God or whoever's causing it. But a lot, you know, whether it's church's fire van timed and a blue car my way. Yeah, so I don't understand why it's being stepped up, but it is. Right, I'm going to say this wording on this one vehicle for this one time to give you, fucking hell, knife-shaped gun looking. The Johnsons, I don't know why they're timing up. I've got a school friend called Michael Cornwall that tried contacting me, and I stopped speaking to him just roughly about a year ago, just under a year ago. Just want to mention, I've got to fucking start a sec. So yeah, I don't really want to say the name of this because it offends my father, so, but it says something, and it says, "Is your man," which is a van. Now they started timing that initially, and my father got very unhappy about it. So up until April of last year, that van was very rare, and then they decided to time it nearly every day. There's also another new van, I can't remember if it came out, whether it occurred late last year or the beginning of this year, but it says F.K. and Dad on the side of it. Now they time that near enough every single day. I don't know how they do it, but they do. You know, and then you've got other vans. I mean, you've got like music tracks. Some of these have died out, or some of them don't exist anymore. But they still occur sometimes, or some are not on the road anymore. They've changed their vans, or it's been painted over, or whatever. But you know, like the music industry, for example, you've got Amy Winehouse. They were timed like a van that says Michael Winehouse. And when you go to Scooter's music, you know, it's all corrupt as well, because you've got like Bikes for Your Pleasure van. What's the other one? Bikes Allowed. So rather than having Girls Allowed, you know, in like a pop group, you'd have Bikes Allowed as a van name. And another thing that's occurred, and again, I think this has only occurred in the last 4 years since I moved to Yeovil, and that's a fairground lorry that has a ride called Fathers for Your Pleasure. Again, they're looking. If you look at the track, Scooter Maria, which is all twisted and buckled up and put against me in a sly way to knock me off, then it makes sense why they're doing, you know, reversing the you know, the titles of these vehicles. Now, obviously, I'm not going to go any further on that because obviously I don't want to insult my father or anything like that. But I've got to get doing it this, you know, trying to be clean about it this once, just to give you some idea of what's going on in the last, you know, since the lockdown or since they stepped up this action. What's it that happened the other day when I walked? Yeah, so I was walking back from the shop buying some fags, because I get through about 20 a day nearly now, and they played a track in the car, and it said, "The government's just turned," timing that to occur as I was going past. And that is not from the Mars Pump Up the Volume track. This was another track, because there's a sample in that track as well that makes a suggestion to say, "Government's just turned, pump up the volume on this music, we're going to get you." And it goes, "It's just there, it's just there, history." You know, there's been many times where the music industry's been put against me, or they've put this nasty force against me, because the government want me knocked off, they want me destroyed. Even as a child, when I went to Monkton Priors School, there was CIA or police. This is when I was 5 years old, were holding a gun to me. But whether it's actually to try and shoot me dead as a child, or whether they were actually seriously looking for somebody else, I do not know, but I do remember that. And they had it pointed at me, mind, I will say that, but nothing was fired at me. So yeah, so that occurred. You know, so it's been right through, really. I mean, going back to the 90s, you didn't really have much music that was put against me or anything like that. Just not in the underground scene. There's hardly nothing that's against me. But all the underground scenes had to be destroyed. They're not allowed to have it now. Anything that's underground, like the underground old school jungle, for example, or the stuff that's been played at Dance Trance or Dreamscape or you know, Dance Planet or Fantasia or whatever, all that stuff's gone. You're not going to get it now, because obviously they got it, and also they let you have certain tracks, but only the commercial tracks. So if you want to listen, if you want tracks like Rev P 1994 on Impact Records, or Intense Paradox on Rugged Vinyl Records, or Intense the Genesis Project EP, or Pesce World of Music, the Legendary series, you know, like Legendary Volume 1, Guanjin Spinback The Execution, or DJ Lee and Guanj 2 Deep, or you know, Dope Travelling Part 2 on Good Looking Records, Coda Space Tech on DJ Records, Nutty 1 off the Nut EP, Underwater Fireworks and Liquid Affray, or if you want stuff, you know, whatever's is there, Rough with a Smooth Twisted Girl, Basement Records. Oh god, let me think of some more, some really good tracks I've got in my head at the moment. The Alliance First Impressions, that was initially released on Legend Records and reissued on Enforcer 6 on Reinforced Records in 1994. Whatever it is, they just want that music destroyed. It's the same with the techno scene. And when it comes to the commercial stuff, all they're doing is twisting it against people and getting nasty with it. If you listen to a certain music, they don't like it. And the government have they've been telling people that they're being hit off or being ripped to pieces or destroyed if they listen to music that goes against, if it violates what they need to tell people. They're trying to promote violence, attacking people, trying to hit people off. They've got to have it how they want it. And if the government are not satisfied, they're just going to rip you to pieces and hit you off. It's as simple as that. I've had to leave that church. I was going to go in the church and stay there for a bit until the bus comes, but it looks like they've started locking the church up, so I've got no choice but to go to the bus stop and wait for the next bus. So it looks like I'm going to have to fucking go home, because I've not succeeded with any picture at all. The thing is, they need to make it sunny. The government need that sexy weather, you see. They need to fuck up the weather pattern. And that's another thing. I had my YouTube account banned for mentioning we had like one of the rainiest days ever for everybody else, right? And around me I was being circled, and there was not a single part of that day, even when I got home, until the sun went down and clouded over, but it didn't rain as such, it was drizzle. For that whole day, the whole day I was out, there was blue skies and sunshine, like a 5-mile radius, and it's being controlled around me. Yet the rest of the country, which I am assuming the rest of the country, because apparently they said on the weather forecast or the news on the internet that no one at all in the UK has seen any sunshine today. Yet that sunshine was around me for the whole of that day. There was not a single cloud cover, and it was done in that curse way, and I filmed it, and I filmed the newspaper in the garage when I got that garage. Sorry, when I went into the garage, without stopping the recording, and then filming the outside and adding the rest of it later on. And I think I might have had a receipt as well on that day, a ticket, because I think it was the day I picked up an old person's ticket on the bus and took that with me to film it to confirm the date. And obviously I uploaded it on the same date as the actual day I did the filming. And when I went to sign into my YouTube account, they told me it was banned just for uploading evidence of the sun being cursed around me. And also I was documenting, also on these audio recordings like I'm doing today, this Lauren curse. So she's a sexy woman that works at Highbridge, or did work at Highbridge Tesco's going back about a decade ago or so, whatever years, maybe a bit more now. No, actually, no, we're in, yeah. So about that black sexual car, right? So the The thing is, she did try and edge me on, you know. She tried to make the suggestion she wanted sex with me. The very first time I actually saw her, she had dyed red hair, in fact. And then she just... whether she was in a relationship, it's hard to say. Because obviously I don't know. But, whatever the situation, it was shortly after she turned against me and people were making threats down the aisles. There's been occasions where I had to walk out of Tesco's before buying my stuff where people were getting nasty with me. And then later on I find out she's with Mike. She turns and she avoids me. And then she makes remarks herself and she turns against me, but she doesn't do it in this. She's just, bloody sick you are, aren't you, Sven, or something like that. And she just turned like that, you know. My name's not Sven, but, you know, they've been brainwashed, these people. But anyway, who I'm suspecting is her boyfriend, Mike, threatened to smash her to pieces. I was getting scared because he's like 150 foot away from me down the road as I'm walking back Tesco's on the scaffolding, and he started shouting his head off in an aggressive hard pattern, and I thought, this is too dangerous to bloody... So it's where I went Tesco's, and times after I was getting threats anyway when I went Tesco's. Then the time come where I hardly saw her, and the next time I saw her, you know, months and months, in fact 6 months and maybe even longer than that, then I find out that she's a single mother with pushed to have 2 ginger haired boys that are very small. And then that's the end of it. I've seen her since. So that's how it goes when it comes to her. So I'm trying to describe what she looks like. If I can get this is a red sex car. And I've got a fuck's sake, Downing Street. Yes, it's grey sex Downing Street. Sex Downing Street, you fucking crooked cunts. And bike. So my willy goes up bike. I need to write this down a second. So now I've got an itchy bum hole. Black sex. Just writing it down. I've got to do this. I need to do it. Lots of sex. Grey sex, red sex. Willy up, itchy bum hole bike. And another one with 2 people on it. They're getting nastier and nastier, these bastards that are setting this up. This is what I mean, the government won't fucking stop it. They want me to sex suck the guts in and out of people. Hang on. Right, if I get the fucking bike, hang on. Itchy bumhole. Fuck's sake. Double 2-man bike. 2 man on a bike. 50. What if I put 50 now? 50 cars in the mints. It saves me fucking stating that when that occurs. And I just write a percentage. Unless there's anything special that occurs, like a gun looking or whatever, and I'd state it different. And when those 50 are passed, I can write a percentage down. Fuck's sake. Now Crow goes ha ha. Did I get this on record? Yeah. Right, I forgot what I was going to say after that setup. But I've just played the recording just to find out what it was. And it's about the weather. So what's happened is going back to 2023. You had this painting on the internet. Now this painting has a picture of what looks like Britney Spears when she's in her early 20s, same colour skin, same smoothness of skin, you know, all the, basically that mixed with mixed with Kylie, you know, how she look in her, not when she was in her teens, but say about 30ish. So take Kylie Minogue when she's in her, about the age of 30, and Britney Spears when she's in her early 20s, but mixing the two together as 2 faces. Anyway, this lookalike has got her legs behind the cloud. She's moving her body as a sexual posing body. She's holding her hand out downwards in a sexual way, and the sun's coming out of her hands cursing this person who's walking down the track. Yet the rest of the picture is cloud and rain, and it's a very mystical, deep looking picture with deep, dull colours that gives that sort of winter look to it, or that sort of whatever. But it's a very interesting painting. Now obviously they put it on a postcard, and actually it looks nicer on the postcard actually than it does the original painting that I saw on the internet in 2015-2016 area. But this has been put on postcard in recent times, and Well, I don't know what they're on about with tools. They're trying to tell me there are loads of tools vans. So maybe they're trying to say that we're going to fucking hit a spanner across your head or whatever. Because that's what the government are like, they're fucking nasty bastards. Right, so, what else was I going to say? So, yeah, that person walking down the track has got a boy-looking face. That could be anything, depending on how you look at the picture, because I didn't look at it that long, I was only there. If I remember, he had a torch, he had a backpack on, and I can't remember what's in the other hand. I don't know if he did have anything in the other hand, actually, I can't remember. It's a long time since I've seen the picture, 2023, and I can't remember all the detail. And I can only remember some of it because I looked at it. But the problem is, when I went to buy the picture and go back to get, or take the photograph of the picture, because I was at the bus stop and I didn't make it back there in time to go do it, otherwise I wouldn't make the 4:20 PM bus to get back to Yeovil from Martock on that day, because that's the last bus from that place, because it's only a village place and the buses are not very frequent there. The reason I didn't buy it at the time, or when I looked at it, is because I thought to myself at the time, I've seen it before on the internet, it was a hot sunny day, and you think to yourself, you know, it's fucking hell, Downing Street. Right, you know, you think to yourself that it didn't click into your head, you know, all the detail in it, and the fact you've been cursed with a son. But it was some from most other people as well, you know, until that time. And then you had over 100 plus incidents, 1 year, whatever. 100, you know, I can't remember how many times now. I've lost count. I'm confused because of fucking traffic flow. The traffic flow's not usually this busy, not on this part. So I know there was about 100 times I phoned my mum, and it's the grey cloud all day where my mum was, and it's sunny only where I was, where they were cursing me with the sun. But they're violating me with the sexual curse of this sexual painting. I did manage to get the name of the artist. It's about 5 letters long or more for both names, the surname and the first name. Right, yeah, more cars is Downing Street. More. Make it as busy as you can fucking pack it. Stop me having to say, you bastards, because I'm getting confused now. Because I'm on the edge of the road waiting for the bus. Assuming I haven't missed it, that is. Because I'm being fucking black magic cursed. Right, cool what's? Hang on. I don't know what they're suggesting there. K.A. Watts. Right, so anyway, I went back 3 months later because I lost a paper, what they gave me when I went back, and I looked on the line, looked other places. And I went back to Martock 3 months later, and when I went back, when I went back, oh, for fuck's sake, they were treating me as if I was Savannah, or making sexual sex suggestions, or applying I'm a sick cunt or whatever. When I went to speak to that same lady who gave me the name of the artist of that painting, she drawed a blank this time round, and I started making these videos, as I said, on YouTube. Then they banned my account. However, since I made that new account, they haven't banned anything. That one specific day where it's sunny, only where I was, and cloudy and rainy for the rest of the country, where I was filming the evidence of the newspaper, that pissed the government off, or the people behind YouTube, and they had to stop. They had to take that. Well, they didn't take it's still on there. They just stopped me signing in, saying your account has been permanently disabled, because I was mentioning this sexual curse and all the rest of it. Right, catalytic converter now. There we are, grain covers it over as well, down the straight. Red, white, yeah, so. Anyway, I'll leave it there. You've got the drift of what I'm trying to say, because I'm having trouble fucking speaking because I'm being cursed with all this fucking shit around me all the time. And I'm being choked up by a catalytic converter because the government want to tell me that it's granny. Control. They've just timed the sex car. This road is 4 times busier than it's ever been before. I've been down here before, but it's not been this busy. Never. Not this road. The road just up there is a different story. As I was mentioning earlier, you had your average flow of traffic, but for this road, it's 4 times busier than it's ever been before. Obviously it's gone dead quiet now, but they don't realise, or the government don't realise, or where they're so fucking satanically possessed that I've already audio recorded the evidence of the traffic on this recording. So why they're thinking different now, I don't know. So anyway, I don't know if I've missed a bus, but it seems to be very late, so it's 10 minutes late at the moment, so... Right, if we go back to just last week, and the week before, we had a catalytic converter set up, right? The government have fucked up here, I tell you, or the creator god, one of the two. And they were so I had the flu, so I couldn't smell the catalyst, and they were deliberately getting as many vehicles around me as they could possibly control around me. Then you had like a sexual day of setups. All to say that your life's getting better, you're gonna have sex tonight, and bringing it out. I mean, bringing the suggestion up hard and proper, you know, but it was in a positive way. It wasn't in a negative way. You had about a couple of days of it, 3 days of it, and then it started to change with the allegations of Sadie Dando claiming that and Stephanie and Ian and Amy Weston tried saying I've had sex with Amy Weston when I haven't, and you had the what was it, being thrown all over the place. There were cars again, hang on. And the Wayne business, but in particular they were giving it some with Sadie and the Wayne on that specific day, but it was still accompanied by the positive setups that were occurring over those couple of days or so. Got to answer the phone in a minute. Right, so yeah, just someone had phone. Fucking hell, catalyst and overhanging trailer. I'm not on one of the better roads, but this road's not usually this busy. You can have up to 3 or 4 minutes on some days without any traffic at all, so they're pushing it today. They know that they can set it and rig it up as much as they can around me to cause as much havoc and shit stirring as they can possibly shit stir on, so that's what they're doing. They can get away with it, so that's what they're doing. So this bus is taking a rather long fucking time to come. I'm not sure if I missed it, you see. It's 2:16 and it comes... what's the time now? Hang on. Have I got the right? So, oh, God's sake. I'm gonna have to... Where the fuck do I go? Let's fucking get onto another bus and get somewhere else. Fuck's sake. This road's just pissing me off now. I've got to get into if I get on the next road, I can speak properly on air. But obviously, like I said, the government want to cause as much fucking shit as they could fucking... It's like I was saying, since the middle of November last year, or the beginning of November, they've been causing every single day to be a fucking packed solid, causing as much mayhem, as much shit stirring, and causing as much people as they can possibly stack around me to cause fucking trouble. Now I've got a fucking itchy fucking bump, and a motorbike down the street, yeah. So time every fucking bump hole, or every erection, a motor. Ha ha ha, it's funny crow. One behind, one behind. There we are, that's the creator god for you. Just a brainless bastard and a snappy cunt that wants to rip people to fucking pieces and destroy people. So anyway, going back to that 3-day period, you had another day, sorry, not one day, on the 4th day, or whatever day it was, after the suggestion of Wayne and Sadie, you went back to your normal setups of nasty aggressive suggestions right for the whole of that day. on the day after that, as a bit of a surprise, all the setups dropped and you had the sexual setups again. And then from that day onwards, every single day has been this malice force against me, back to the original way it was, with no sexual suggestions whatsoever. Just a couple of sexual suggestions mixed in with malicious ideas, like it usually is. Yes, which started yesterday. Yeah. I just want to update you on the burning situation. I don't want to put it like this, but I am actually feeling quite bad still. Even though I've been out a couple of hours, that burning sensation has been occurring over the last, let's put it this way, I'm feeling bad at this minute in time. Yeah, I forgot to mention the burning issue, because I like to mention how it feels the next day or whatever. Well, it's still bad. Well, basically what happens is once you're going through this fucking situation of burning, it lingers on it stays within you for a period of time, and depending on how bad it's been, depends how long it lasts. As it stands today, it still feels as bad as what it was before I left, so it's not going very quick. Just want to mention this: on this road you're hitting record-breaking borders. So it's not record-breaking at the moment, but the amount of traffic that's occurred in the last few minutes is just car up on car up on car. Obviously it seems to have gone a bit quieter at this minute in time, but it always does when I push record on this digital audio recording device. But obviously, like I said earlier, they don't realise that I've done a lot of recording where the road's been busy, so they're trying to disguise it in so many clever ways, but they fuck up sometimes where they're trying to disguise it, thinking I've only done one recording here and there. So the other thing that is happening is they're just tying to Johnson's van. I knew someone called Rebecca Johnson at school, at Elmwood School, many years ago, and she had a mother who's quite a tall lady at a cafe in Taunton, or she worked in there as a waitress or whatever. I'm getting confused what I want to say now. Well, I've never really spoken to Rebecca, and if I go back to when I was living at Bridgewater West Street, she actually shouted something nasty at me when I walked past on several occasions, and then I never saw her really much after that. And when she was walking, I was doing evening walks or trying to photograph old streetlights or whatever it was I was doing, so I noticed she went into the Wemden area of Bridgewater, where I saw her. Anyway, she is more connected to Michael Cornwall. There's no Michael Cornwall, and stayed in contact for many years. I sort of lost communication. Michael Cornwall only contacted me because Stephanie Jill, or Hill, whatever her surname is, contacted Michael Cornwall or if it wasn't her, somebody that contacted to basically say who it was. So somewhere along the line something got said, or that he found out, he managed to locate me, or found out, or whatever, and that's how he found me on Facebook. And initially he did a few phone calls, but that was a snog van, yeah, SNOG. So they're trying to make the suggestion you're gay with Michael Cornwall. Oh well, that's the way they want to fucking work it. They're just absolutely fucking buckled, the government. They're fucking hell bent. They're fucking fucked up in the fucking head, unless the creator's doing it, and the creator's fucked up in the head. One of the two's doing it, God. But either way, if it is God that's doing it, God's just a nasty bastard anyway, like the works of his fucking creation. Why do we step on insects? Why do underwater creatures shit and piss in the same water they eat and drink out of? Why do deadly animals attack other animals? Why does paralyse them with venom, strangulate them, fucking eat the guts out of them? You know, and you call that a fucking nice creator God? So yeah, that's the way it is. But something else I want to bloody mention is this Michael Cornwall's slightly older in the head. He's sort of more his age. He's sort of got that 50-year-old sort of accent, you know, sort of. So when you're speaking to him on the phone, you sort of think to yourself, you know, he'll tell you that an old granny is a sexy lady nowadays at your age, you know, sort of, sort of he has no knowledge of me or hardly anything because I hadn't speak to me for years, and I sort of, you're looking something like 1993 since I last spoke to him, so I was only sort of a very small child at school. And you think to yourself, yeah, if you're going to start talking like that, because he don't know nothing about me, you see, he doesn't know anything. And you know, and all these people in their teens, 20s and 30s, they've all had sex with people, and you think to yourself, well, what about me? I'm in my 40s and not had nothing, you know. The nearest to anything is where, you know, where they're digging with this Wayne business, and they're using that as an excuse to cause fucking trouble. There's a massive documentary I did many years ago, which is My Life Story Pack, Deep Depression 1. And even in 2007, when I was mentioning stuff on this corrupt force to whatever, that setup or that specific person was becoming less... Hang on, the bus is there. But going back to this Stephanie business, Sadie business, Ian business, or Amy Weston, then when anything that's involved with suggestions of sexuality on that, then that's all bullshit, the whole lot. So trains hit over, snog van, dead said by the bus driver, itchy bumholes and motorbike light on, motorbike with light on only, teenager pushing a buggy, Under Armour top, phone rings nearest to me, on public transport. And then as a look-alike to this Lauren in Tesco's, but only aged about 21, as I look out towards Innies Court at Sturminster Newton while on the bus going back home. So it looks like her, but this lady was younger, so she's only about 21, and she didn't have the smoothness in the skin as much as Lauren, but she did have the same face and same sort of eyes, so it wasn't like that evil sort of. It's like, so when I mentioned that sun curse earlier, if you're going to replace it, well, I don't know how they're going to do that, but they won't. They probably won't. They'll just fucking leave you to savage. They'll just treat you like a piece of shit and just go on like that with all the setups that they're going on with. However, when we had that 3 day of setups of the sexual suggestions that were changing unexpectedly, they were making the suggestion. I'm trying to think what it is. On one of the days, they timed a Tesco van, followed by a replacement van with a light bulb at the end of the writing on that one occasion, trying to imply that Tesco person's going to be replaced. On the following day or the day after, I can't remember when it was, there was something similar, I can't remember what it was, and you had light replacements. You also had a Pure van with a Cess van, and you also had Tesco vehicle. You also had basically that sort of suggestion. No, this never came true. All this just was rogue setups. And obviously the last week or however long it is, it's just gone back to these normal nasty malicious setups every day, apart from a section of yesterday where there was some form of good suggestions, but that good suggestion, when I was coming back on the bus from Norton Southampton, meant nothing anyway. So I just sort of went into this negative setup of today. So all this is either a phase or they were doing it for some reason, but if they were doing it to be nice, it just doesn't make sense why that occurred on those several days. Maybe it's a trap they had someone else in and I was in that person's trap, and they made a bit of a mistake thinking that the favour was going to go for that person and I was in that person's trap. Maybe something went on, I don't know what's going on, but you don't usually get this. It's always negative, it's always nasty. And some wet sneezes, get an itchy bumhole and Willie pops up and the bike is angled and timed around at me. I want to get fucking nasty about it. It's a grey sexual with light on, itchy bumhole and erections to motorbike tied, bus turns, motorbike angled to me straight after. White car, plain and simple van, Jack Jones, obviously they use that to apply, I don't give a fuck. White and blue car, Willie shoots up to itchy bumhole and bike only, white, red, gun looking 1940s, my way, the same one I filmed earlier and the same one I was talking about earlier, possibly the same car, itchy bumhole, so motorbike with car, motorbike, about 15 years older than the age that person who sexually abused me as a child would have been at the time it happened. And as I passed this person, this was a female version with slightly older looking skin than the person who raped me as a child, and she said, "You're a total sick bastard," just because I looked at her as I passed several years ago. And also you've got to take into account Jesus Christ in his living life had a sex partner called Mary Magdalene. I'm not going to discuss her ages or anything like that because it's going to sound bad. I'll just leave it at that. But Jesus died at the age of 33 or 34 when he was crucified. Well, I was told several years ago, while I was speaking to a lady aged 36, that you're a sick, sad fucking cunt and should be looking at people in their 40s because you were 42 or whatever it was, 41 at the time. And obviously you've got to take that into account as well. And then obviously people say you're supposed to be with rough-skinned, granny-looking types or whatever, but you've got to take into account what I said earlier. Everybody else, or most people, have had sex with teenagers, people in their 20s and 30s. But with me, that hasn't been the case, so I don't know why I'm being told to go with a granny or a very old person with negative looking skin and someone who's very used, someone that's extremely stale for hundreds or even thousands of people. And I'm also being told to go with people that have HIV because of my age. Some are saying you're not supposed to have sex at the age of 40. And what's the other thing I was going to say? And I'm being told that you should be with single mothers and people that are very used. I don't call that a very fucking friendly thing for the Creator God to do, especially when if you want to work out in some religions, they're against that. They actually say that you're supposed to actually go with someone that's not a stale piece of shit. But regardless of that, you know, you've had your wrist sliced, you've had your throat cut, it's too late to do anything. But that's the way the Creator God or the government work with this control force. Right, so it's been another bike issue. Red car, red sexual. Red, black sexual car. Grey car, Jack Jones top. Grey white, Creedy van. To apply greedy, Creedy. Jack Jones top. Gun looking, smashed glass looking lorry. Razor wire looking van. Twisted looking egg timer vehicle. Just in time van with double bell alarm clock being smashed with a mallet, with just in time written on the inside of the alarm clock, which is like a green picture and a cartoon type character that's smashed in the just in time clock. Red white car, red white red. Under Armour bag, up the H van, onwards and upwards van, a hat's, a cap, a hat, what you put on top of your head, says disease, Michael traction van, red car, finisher top, itchy bum holes and bonus and motorbike timed, black and blue white, blue mixed with white. Right, Lisa's van, because I want to apply Lisa Pike. And then itchy bum holes, bike timed, and then another 5 times. Important is that talking about a person with shingles has gone in my eye. I've got to use soap and water. Wainwright, itchy bum holes, a motorbike, red, blue, white, chicken pox into the buses, buggies, and knife shaped. So what I'm saying there is they're push chairs that are knife shaped. White car and grey, blazing light, light bluey green, central car, highway, grey, black and blue. You can hear the stupid laughing by people at chicken pox. In Burvan, itchy bum also motorbike time before that he had cell calls, bill whistles, white, grey and whatever else. Right, same again, fire engines, lights and sirens then turned off in a symbolical way as to say dead paedophile, itchy bum wholesome motorbike. Red, white timed, black and blue timed, black sexual timed, Protec, itchy bumholes and motorbike down the side, very sneakily, orange car, Zimmer frame time, bonus, ear shattering loud bike, and then more bikes and white bikes, whatever, coming off the bus. Right, sudden itchy bumhole, so they need to fix a fucking loud bike, and then fix a bike to my penis after that. Someone in a black Jaguar with a registration plate KV03 MVT mistakes me as Savannah and says, "So sad being shot dead."